Hazel?
Yes.
This is Earl. Can you hear us fine?
I hear you fine, sir. Go right ahead.
All right. We're going to get started, and we're fixing to call the meeting to order. I'll ask you to come to order and join Councilman Powell as he leads us in the prayer and Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, thank you for that, and we will welcome. We do have some guests with us tonight, not many, because we've got to be under that number and maintain the social distancing that's required for any meeting. So, for those who are here, thank you for being here. We have the minutes of our meeting for for March the 17th to consider. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Wells to approve the minutes of the March 17 meeting. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Sconyers. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? All in favor, since we've got someone joining us by phone, let's say aye instead of raising our hands because we can't all see it. So all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And so it is carried, and thank you for that. No unfinished business. We had a presentation to us in the work session from Dr. Allison Jackson Wood, who is the director of Bethesda House over in Opp. She brought us some materials and described to us the work that she is about in Opp in helping families and wives and women who have been victims of domestic violence. And she has requested that we make a contribution to that project. And they are underway. They do have residents in the house, in Bethesda House, and have for some time now. And so I recommend to you that they have requested $10,000. And I recommend to you that you consider that. We don't have to pay it all at one time. We certainly can. We've got the money to do that with, but we don't have to. We can pay it quarterly or however we choose to pay it. But that's the most it would be $10,000 for a year, for 1 year. The total amount would be $10,000. So I recommend to you that we go ahead and do that because they are doing good work, and we need that work to continue in our community, unfortunately. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Powell to make the $10,000 payment and just make it a single payment. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Wells. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign, and it carries unanimously, and thank you for that. We also have Resolution 2008-08, which is a resolution that states, talks about the coronavirus that we are involved in here in the community and authorizes me to institute a furlough program, and we've talked about that. You all know what we've done. I've already talked to our employees that will be affected, and it would take effect this coming Monday. And that would allow them to have a full paycheck coming to them on the 17th. And during the meantime, they can get registered and get set up for unemployment benefits through the state. So I would recommend to you that we adopt Resolution 2020-08. Hey, thank you, sir. We have a second?
A second.
Second by Mr. Mount. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, and that carries. There's one extra little piece of business I'd like to take up with you tonight, because I think the city attorney and I have talked about the instituting of a what am I trying to say? I'll find my word. Curfew. I'm sorry. Instituting or putting a curfew in place, and we've already announced that we're going to do that. I think that the mayor has the authority to do that under this state of emergency that the governor has instituted. That, I think, passes enforcement of that stay-at-home order, passes down to the mayors and can be enforced just like any other portion of that health order that was sent down by. But out of an abundance of precaution, I would recommend that we do it by ordinance as well. And we can do that tonight, because we don't have to publish it and do it.
You can suspend the rules.
We can suspend the rules tonight and authorize the imposition of this piece of work that would continue until we release it or remove it. So in order to do that, we have to suspend the rules, which means we have to have a roll call, and the clerk will call the roll. And if you are in favor of suspending the rules so we can take this up and vote on it tonight and make it done by ordinance as well as by order of the mayor, which I think would be the best way to do that, I would recommend to you that we do it. So, Mr. Clerk, would you call the order? Call the roll, excuse me.
Mayor Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Scott. Yes. Mrs. Griffin.
Yes.
Mr. Mount. Yes. Mr. Wells. Yes. Mr. Powell. Yes.
Okay, the rules are suspended. So that means we are now in a state of chaos. So we got to be careful what we do. What I would put before you is the imposition of the curfew made by ordinance in addition to the order of the mayor's office. And the rules are suspended. So if there's anyone here that wants to make any comments about that or ask any questions or anything, the floor is open to you. Is there anyone who has a question or wants to make a comment about it? No, it starts Friday night. Friday night, yes, sir. I'm sorry. Well, the curfew doesn't take effect till 10 o'clock at night, and it's off at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I don't see how that would interfere with it.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, the ordinance that I drafted also makes reference to the governor's order, which exempts attendance at religious
it does exempt
services.
religious.
So it would exempt that if somebody, now, if they're just out traveling around, but if they're legitimately going to a religious service, they would be exempt.
That's right. Yeah, this what we're doing lines up with the governor's order through the health department. Okay, hearing nothing, we will then come back into general session and put this to you. We'll need a motion and a second, and then further discussion and a vote. Do I have a motion? Got a motion by Mr. Powell. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Mount, excuse me. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? All in favor of adopting the ordinance as we stated it to you, say aye. Aye. All right, and that is, any opposed, same sign. So that is unanimous, and I certainly thank you for that. I'd like to just make a couple of comments about the impact of reducing our workforce by almost a third, and the impact that that's going to have on our services that we offer and have for our citizens in the community, our city. Number one, we will have no recycling during this period of time until we bring back our folks, because that was part of the folks that were furloughed, the recycling folks. There will be a 2-week cycle in trash pickup. This is limbs and debris and stuff on the side of the road. There'll be a 2-week cycle in that rather than a 1-week cycle. So if you put something out in front of your house, it may be a couple of weeks before it gets gone, but that's because we've had to reduce the number of folks we have actually picking stuff up. And the city landfill will be closed to the public during this period of time because we don't have the crews out there to handle the landfill debris. So that...
Could you put something out to that so that people will know that the
Yes.
recycling and all, y'all put something out on that?
Yes, ma'am. It's going to be on our website, and we'll also put it on our we also put it on Facebook.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Our police, there was only one furloughed person in the police department, and that was a floating dispatcher. It was not a sworn officer. So we will have our full force out with our police department, and we're going to, during this period of time, when we're asking people to stay at home unless they're out there on official business, work-related, or the other exceptions that are included in that in the governor's order, please stay home. And our police department is going to be watching, and particularly parents, folks, we ask that you keep your children at home. 10 o'clock, we're going to have to, if they're out, they're going to be spoken to by law enforcement. So you need to try to keep them home and keep them safe. And that also helps for the safety of everybody else with respect to this virus. Of course, our fire department, we had no furloughs in the fire department, so we have a full force there. So we had pretty good hits in some of our other departments because we got a large number of employees. If you count the fire department and the police department together, it's probably the largest group we got. So we'll still have to slow down some on our work, and it won't get done as quickly and as promptly as it usually does, but we apologize for that, but we'll get to it as quickly as we can. Does anybody have anything else that you want to bring before the council tonight, or anything you need to ask a question about or comment about? All right, hearing nothing, we will stand adjourned.